Dun, 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 dun. That's lovely mother of pearl. The guitar itself needs a little bit of cleaning. And as you can see, the neck, and Georgie girl's at her work right away. The neck is a bit dirty. And it's a bit more dirty down here. And the guitar looks like this is all still white dirt and no scratches. The red could come up beautifully. There's no saddle. It's completely dirty down here with all sorts of muck and stuff on it. And that's the chewing of the guitar strings that you hear at the other end by Georgie Girl. It's electroacoustic. It has been bathed in whatever this muck is. But it can, big muck, I got a feeling it could come out of its doldrums and be a nicer looking guitar. But there is a little bit of a hiccup. Somebody has tried to fix the broken neck by using a screw in there with some poly filler and a screw in there with some poly filler. What I'm looking at, and I don't know what I'm looking at yet, I'm going to have to take it all apart. You see, there's the where it should be, and there's where the neck is. Now, have they filed it down, or have they filled it with poly filler and the neck's sitting way out here? So it's going to be fun taking this apart. Georgie girl sitting on my back. I've cut the strings. And I'm just about to turn this thing around, see what I can do with the neck. I think the first thing to do is to clean it and bring you down a lot closer so you can see what a mess it is. It's such a mess, it's a laugh. It's quite clear that the person who did it was experimenting and playing. Now the interesting thing is this is silicone. Now I don't know whether they've used silicone throughout it, but it looks like it's silicone all the way. I'm going to try to take that screw out.
I said, would it be alright if I put my arms around you? And she said, darling, please be quick, 'cause I want to feel you near. Then I said, and darling, do you mind if I tell you that I love you? And she said, lover, take your time, for the words I shouldn't hear. Then I said, oh, can't you see that love's for free? Oh, come on a little closer, honey, cuddle closer, come on closer to me. That's what I said. And I said, take no never mind of what your mama told you. And she said, well, what you trying to do? You know I'm not that kind of girl. And I said, well, honey, don't be mean, you know I only want to hold you. And she said, well, what's in this drink? You know my head's in a whirl. Then I said, oh, can't you see that love's for free? Oh, come on a little closer, honey, cuddle closer, come on closer to me. Then I said, baby, don't be shy about one little button. And she said, I'm not a prude, but I think we're moving too fast. And I said, come on, lie right down and make yourself at home now. Then she said, it's getting too late, babe, and I think the moment's past. And I said, oh, can't you see, poor pitiful me, I just want a little loving, honey, So cuddle closer, come on closer to me. Well, what could I do? I took her home, didn't I? Oh well, there's always tomorrow night.
Told you it wouldn't last. I did tell you. It's not getting any easier to come out. Just have to take a breath. It must be a screw that's the same width the whole way down. It's not tapered. Yeah, it's a little bit bent, so the head's moving around in different angles. But it's coming out. And then we're going to see what this neck is made of. Oh, don't tell me. Yeah, it looks like they've done this without taking the fretboard off. So still I'm not sure where I am. Yeah, that's bent. So I'm still not sure where I am, because what have they done here? Well, right, okay. Only thing I can do is start scraping. Would they have put 3 screws in? Yes, they have. A third in there. Now this is going to come away easier though. Right, okay. Any more screws in there? That went in pretty deep as well. Alright, so I know what I gotta do. I gotta clean that up. I'm gonna have to take a break though. Get a drink. I'm gonna try this again, the saw. Just to clear out the stuff. And I've been thinking about ways to try to fix this neck afterwards, but I feel more metal. There's metal in there, which is strange. I don't think I can let you see it, or find a way to let you see it. Might be able to hear it. Let's just see. Sorry, Georgie girl. What's that? What fell? Why don't you go and chase it? Yeah, there's something metal in there. Now I can't figure out. There's no more screws. Is there? No, unless there's a screw. I can't figure that out. So, if there's metal in there, I don't want to wreck this saw, but you hear? It's running against something metallic. Now, could it be the truss rod? Let me just see the angle of that. Well, the truss rod's there. Anyway, I think what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to clean this up completely, because I think I've cleaned out as much as I can, and I'm going to clean it all, and then I'm going to try to compress the neck in some way. I tell you what, let's just try that. Let's set it aside and pull out and just test the neck where it is with the bridge and the saddle. Let's just test where it goes to. Right, it's down at the very bottom of the saddle bridge. So it needs to and there is movement there. So my thoughts are clean it out as much as I can. I don't think I need to go on camera. Then compress that, and I may be forced to put a bolt right through from there to there and make that bolt compressed. I can't see any other way to. I don't want to take that off. I don't want to take the binding off because that'll make a real mess of it, and there's nice binding there. So if I put a bolt right through that fret, right in the center to there, and tighten that up after I've cleaned it up as best I can, and then if I can get the neck stabilized, then I fill all that in and sand it and try to get it some sort of semblance of sanity to it. Well, that is it cleaned up enough for me to make a judgment call on it. Somebody has sawn through it, as you know, and believe it or not, I found another screw going in there, but I can't take that screw out. That's what the metal sound is. I can't get that screw out. So my thoughts are, do I even try to fix this? The one thing I'm going to do tomorrow, not tonight, it's 11:30 now. I'm going to take a steel saw and cut the screw just to get rid of that. Sorry, Georgie girl wants up. I'm going to get rid of that screw, and then I'm going to try to put a clamp on that to see how far we can get with bringing it down. I may have to saw the neck the whole way into it to get it to the right angle, but we'll see tomorrow. But in the meantime, that's that part cleaned up. Well, I've come back to this after about a month. I was ready to throw it in a bin, but I decided just to give it another chance, and I've been working at it. There was some piece of metal stuck in there that was forcing everything to go bad, and I managed to, with brute force, get a grip on it, and look what it was. It was the end of a drill bit that was stuck in there. So, does that cure my issues? Let me just see. I'll just use a little bit of metal. Well, some of the issues. Yeah, there's no more metal in there. And one of the issues that I am going to have a look, somebody's drill bit. It's broken in two ends. So there still might be something stuck in there, but if it's not going to affect the neck, then it'll not matter. Now that we've got that cleared out, I'll just take you to the neck itself. Itself, as opposed to not itself. I put my black mouse mat under there so that hopefully you can see a little bit better. But what I'm wondering, put that there and just tilt it so you can see it. Look at the gap there. You see that? You can see that if you look at the very top of this ruler, it's touching the top of the neck, right? And if you look further down, you'll see way down at the bottom there's a big gap. Well, that's it there. Sorry, that's it there. If you look way down at the bottom, you'll see a big gap. Now let me move my thumb out of the way here so you can see the whole way down. So there's a large underbow just about where all that repair was done. Now I'm wondering, would the truss rod take out that underbow? So that's what I'm going to look at to see what the truss rod is actually capable of doing. And maybe all that man's effort to try to get that to straighten was unnecessary. Maybe it was a truss rod problem all along. Let's just pull it a bit further. But that's maybe me being optimistic. So, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that, first time. Now I want to loosen it. No, I want to tighten it, don't I? It was quite loose. Okay, it was quite loose. Now if it had been tight, I would have been more worried, but that's loose. So maybe tightening it will raise that. Let me have a look and see where we are with that. Where are you, for goodness sake? Let's just see if that's made any difference. Okay, mouse mat there, so the members, the boys and girls can see. Alright, can you see there? I'm going to look at the same time as you. The first look didn't tell me a lot. Maybe I may come down right down there so you can see. And hopefully my head's not in the way. The top's touching. And look at that. It's completely straight now. That neck's dead straight. Now let's see where it falls on the bridge. See if there still is an issue. I'm having trouble tonight getting my coordinations together, sorry. Right, let's just bring that straight, neck down. Well, I don't know about you, but that looks pretty good to me. It's just falling at the top of the bridge. I'm going to double check, and I'll show you what I mean by falling at the top of the bridge in a second. Let me look at this again. Yeah, that neck is as straight as you could possibly want. Maybe a slight overbow, but I'm going to work at that later. This is out of place. What I'm saying by running the neck down, I'm going to bring you down. Hopefully editing will help you watch this a bit better. When you run the ruler down straight to the neck, it's slightly below the top, which means the strings are going to be about there, which is not horrible, And I can't help but wondering if all that work that this chappie did was in light of the fact that the truss rod was loose and sagging. Where do I go from there here? I tell you what I'm going to go from here. I'm going to fill this in. I'm going to fill it in. Let me just turn this around and give you a close-up again. And I'm going to put some stress on the neck. Look, there's no movement at all in that neck. None. And I'm stressing it, pushing it one way and the other. There's nothing there. That neck is still solid. That's very good wood, that is too. That neck is still solid. So I'm tempted. Yeah, I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to fill it in with wood fillers. Now that I've removed everything, I'm going to fill it in with wood fillers because there's no movement there. And yeah, That's what I'm going to do. Fill it in with wood fillers, and I'm going to do it right this second. Horseshoe thingy. Right, that's going to sit. All right. Right, what I'm doing now is shaping with the round file. And I'm just going to shape it. Actually, I'm going to put my glasses on first because I got the wrong bloody glasses on. What is that? That's good stuff, that is. What is it? Wood filler. Everbuild, E-V-E-R build. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it. I'm going to just see what it's like when I wet this with a wet one. You know, and I think I'm going to have to use some of this wood glue. And I'm going to have to rub it in with my hand just a tiny bit to fill out the little lumps. Not lumps, just little dots that have appeared from my sanding. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. See the little dot there? Can you see that little dot? That little dot, maybe there. I'll just use my hands and I'll lubricate this down a bit and dilute it. This is the kind of thing I mean. Reduce the wood filler down to it's almost a paste, maybe a touch more. I closed it, I shouldn't have done. Maybe a touch more of the wood filler into a paste. And then you get your lawns dirty. It's like being young again, isn't it? In the sand pit. But it's like, oh, don't splash. No, Austin, you don't want to splash. No. So that sort of consistency. And then you start to sing, oh, my love. And a woman comes up behind you and rubs your neck and your shoulders. My darling, I've hungered for. Of course, I don't think I'm Patrick Swayze. But that just fills in the holes. A long, lonely time. Oh, sexy, sexy. Sexy, sexy. Look at that there. Bet you don't get singing like that anywhere else on the YouTube. Thank God. Right, that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to sand that all off again. Not now, maybe in 4 or 5 hours. Well, I hope you can see, because my viewpoint here is on the monitor looks terrible, but I think you can see okay. That is the pasted. Remember I mixed up a paste? Well, you would remember, because as far as you're concerned, that was only a few seconds ago. To me, it was several days ago. So I'm just going to sand this down and make it as smooth as I can. And then I'm going to talk to I'm actually going to finish off the rest of the guitar, but I'm going to talk to the owner after I finish sanding this down, because he does have somebody who can do spraying much better than me, and he may decide to get this sprayed by him, his friend. So if I do a rough sand job and get the guitar set up properly, am I talking myself into something that I don't want to do? I think I'm trying to talk myself into something that I don't want to do. Because I want to have the guitar finished when it goes out. I don't want to put out a half-finished guitar, because I know if I fix it up with strings, get it tuned and everything out there, then those are going to have to come off. All going to have to come off again. So I'm talking myself out of that aspect. I thought I would save myself some work, but it means I'm putting out a guitar that's half finished and would have to be completely taken apart again. No, you don't like that idea. So I'm going to spray it myself. And if the owner doesn't like the job, or he wants to do it again, he can get his friend to do it. That's a better way. Then I'm more satisfied by putting this outside, putting this back to the owner, and then I can say it's finished as far as I'm concerned. And that feels much better now. That feels much better. It feels much smoother. It's just a little bit here. Get my nut out of the way. Sanding is the most boring job in the world, so I think I'm going to finish this off camera, because unless I'm saying something terribly entertaining, which I'm not, then it's been boring as hell to watch. So, and you won't even hear this because I'll probably speed this up. That's it for the moment. So there we are. The design is a triangle going down to there, and then I've taped off there. That's going to be all black, and then I don't know where I can keep it in focus. Let me just see. There's going to be a triangle there and a triangle there. Now, you see, working out those triangles was a very, very complicated business, because what you have to do is guess, and that's exactly what I did. I guessed it. I guessed it. Now, I can't think of a way. I think that's the best I'm going to get you to do. All I'm going to do now is put a coat of primer on it, and I'm going to put it on by, that's it, perfect. And I'm going to put it on by a little paintbrush. If I can find it. Let me get it open, get the paintbrush ready, and come back to you. Right, I brought the paint up to tilt it to let you see it's the paint and primer in matte, but it's spilt. So I'm just going to get on with it. Right, I'm going to put a fairly thick coat on, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then sand it. And then put another thick coat on, let it dry, and sand it. And I'm hoping that that will give the primer base for me. That will allow me, see, I didn't block off that, because that will scratch off with a little Stanley knife. If anything gets on the top of it, I'll just have to scrape around it. So at this moment in time, I'm just putting black on in a thick coat. It was sanded with 600 grit, so this will stay on. And it's looking okay at the moment. Even it's looking okay, but as I say, this is a primer paint which dries fast, and then I'll sand it, get it off my bench, and I probably will spray it with a high gloss black. Right, okay, I'll go switch off and clean up. Overall, I'm very happy with that. But that little tiny thing there is just, so I'm going to need to fill that in. It's all very nice. I like it. It's not perfect, but it's a cheap guitar, and I don't have ears. Okay, that is it done as far as I'm going to be doing it. The only thing I'm going to do now is give it a good pop. Not this second. I'm going to look at it as a guitar now. But I've had to sand with 3000. I don't think I've done that bit yet. But then I'm going to polish it, and that should get rid of that. But that's the best I can do, polish the neck as well. But now I'm going to treat it as a guitar, because I've never checked it to see what it's like electronic-wise or anything. But let's look at it overall now. So, what we have here, B200 RD Westfield. Let's check the neck straightness. If anything, it has, no, well, maybe not. It's perfectly straight neck. Okay, it couldn't be any straighter. The nut's a little bit crappy looking, but you know what I think we should do? Get some pegs, get the strings on, and let's see what it does. Why is that rocking back and forth? Oh, it's my bench. My planks underneath the bench are not. Made me worry there. Right, let's pause, get some strings on it and see where we are with everything. The neck obviously needs to be cleaned. I think my videos are a bit dull. Not talking about content, because anybody who watches this must be a sad person in the first place to watch it. But I think they're a bit dull because the background is so bland. Now I found a packet of a bridge. Okay, are you fat? Yeah, you're pretty fat. It's pretty fat. It's pretty fat. So I found a bridge. I found a nut, which I'm not going to use. Am I going to use it because it comes off? Let's just see how. Well, no, let's just see. Maybe I might use it, but we'll see. Oh, there's only 5. Oh, there's 6. Ah, they're a bit yellowy and a bit cream. But what I was saying is that my videos are a bit dull because I think my background, this here, is a bit bland. Maybe it needs to be a dark grey or a black to bring it up. But we'll see. Now, will that, those are all do, those are all fine, they're not too small, which is grand. Now this nut saddle, is it too big? Let me just see. I got a feeling we're going to have some trouble there. That's far too fat. That. You've seen some of these, they're ultra thin and they just slide across there, but this one's quite fat. I don't know whether I put this on or re-glued it on again. I don't think I did. But I do think that the wood, this wood at the bottom, but hasn't been cut to the flattest. I got a feeling that if I measure it, this is only a rough thing, right? Yeah, you're going to have about 1/8 of an inch of wood in there. And I would prefer that to go right down to the bottom, because see how far it would go if it was right down to the bottom. I don't know where you can, but it's almost level. But when you put it in there, it's sitting up. Let's just turn it upside down for the sake of purposes. Yeah. Ideally, I'd like to take away that inside there. Should I do that? Let me look. Can I do it easily? Because I spent more than enough time on this guitar. Right, that's it, right down to the wood. I think you probably can see the wood there. And there's all, I vacuumed the inside, and that's all the shavings. And Georgia girl's back again. I just gave you a cuddle. Know what do you want? Put the vacuum. So as you will see too, whenever I put that in on its own, it sits right down in it. Let me just check to make sure I'm not bluffing you. There, it sits right down. Right, it does, yes, it sits right down on it. That looks to be sitting nice and neat. So I'm going to stick a battery in. I notice that this is wobbling about a bit. So I'm going to stick a battery in and see if we can get any noise. Pause. Right, stuck a battery in at the expense of my carbon monoxide detector, which will peep every now and then. And let's just see if we can get a noise from this. Right, you plugged in? Yes, you are. We got a hum. Oh, right. And it's all working. Okay, so now I need to fix this bit here because it's too loose, la trek. God, I'm a comedy genius. Ah. That was fussy. You didn't want to see that. I had to put one of the sharp grommets on the inside. That white, it's nice and solid now, but that was a fuss. Oh, another hour. So I zoomed through that just to let you see what the fuss was, but that'll take about 20 seconds, but it took the same amount of time altogether to get that in. But it's in good and solid. May not look the greatest, but it works hard. So let's get settled. And the bench is dirty and... Right, okay. You know something? Actually, let's just make sure that it's working still. After all that fuss. If it doesn't work, then I would cry. Let's just put the power on. It does. Wonderful, and it's good and solid. That's all I'm worried about. Pickup sounds very powerful. Right, so now I'm going to get this in, and then I'm going to pull the bridge down. I tell you what, I'm going to put the strings on now, like I said before, just to see where we are, because I can't go much lower than that, actually, by the look of that. And if I do go lower, I'll file it down rather than bringing the whole thing down. Yes, that's brought it down more acceptable. And I'm going to do that with them all, bring them down to more acceptable, not just as horrible there. And I'm going to do it off camera because it's a bit a pain in the ass. Well, there you are. I never thought this one would be a player. I wasn't quite sure when I first saw the neck how bad it was, but you'll see what I've done there. You look too closely, you'll see lots of errors that a good painter would not have made. But at least it's a playing guitar. Maybe you get 35, 40 pounds with it. And we got the all the things working on it. You look closely there, you'll see my spraying handiwork, but it's plugged in at the moment. Let me switch it off. Let me just check the tuning. Okay, it's I think 7th fret is about the furthest you'd want to go, but you get 7th fret actions okay. So there you go. Just check this tuning one more time before I play my favorite chord and send this baby home. Going home. Big difference between now and when it first came in, isn't it? Okay, bye-bye, bye-bye.
There we go. Oh, push.